We're doing a new multi-stream. Okay, welcome to the Techonomics podcast. We have Blackbird PCTech with us today, and we are going to talk about the CES Roundup. We're going to talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. We're going to talk about the 5070 Ti cancellation, the super cancellation, GPUs in general, and the 5060 Ti 16 gig cancellation. Let me just bring up my chat windows here, even though we don't do chat, just in case. All donations today, guys. Matt, or I guess Blackbird, gets half. So make sure to reward the guy for spending his afternoon and spending the time with us. So anyway, let's start with CES then. So what was your favorite product this year? You know, actually, hang on. Before we start, I had a buddy of mine ask. He was like, so what was the best? He asked me the same question. He's like, what was the best thing at CES? I'm like, nothing, man. Like it was literally just robots. It was just a slew of robots. It was so disappointing. But yeah, let's get your take though. Yeah,
AI,
what was your favorite thing?
So in PC tech, right?
Yeah,
So
like in our field, yeah.
huge. I mean, so that's the thing. There, I don't know what the numbers were, but something like 350,000 people attend. It's the biggest event in the world. It's pretty awesome if you love tech beyond, not just PC tech. So there's a lot of really cool stuff to see. I think, focused on PC tech. My favorite thing, I had a top five that I went through, but
Oh,
my favorite, I would say, I really liked some of the Asus ecosystem. So it wasn't one thing; it was the Chronox case with the new fans, if they live up to the claims, with the AIO innovation that they had, eliminating cables. It's a very small thing, but I think that that innovation will be copied by MSI and Gigabyte and everyone else within the next 6 months, and it just makes our life easier as builders. So that was probably my favorite thing, but there are probably a good, I'd say, five things that I really loved. Right.
what was the top one though? Actually, Brad, thanks for the 50, man. I'll make sure Blackbird gets half of that. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that. Brad's our
Oh, thank you.
resident YouTube goat.
Yeah,
Um,
no, thank you. I appreciate that too. My top five. I don't know if I had one that really stood out. My top five was the MSI Lightning and their PSU that
yeah,
with it's got the oral noise if you don't want to use the MSI Center plugin or the MSI Center interface. Some of the ASUS stuff that I mentioned. I really did like the Aorus 5090 Infinity. I was quite surprised that Gigabyte came out with that. I thought it was unique and good looking. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but the last day I was there, I was visiting
I
Gigabyte,
remember. Yeah.
and did I tell you the story of the card disappeared? I
Oh yeah,
did.
you
I think
did. Yeah,
I
you
did.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they find it? Do you
So
know?
yeah, so I don't know whatever happened, but basically for the audience, I was getting shown around, and the woman that was showing me around said, "Did you see the 40th anniversary emblem on the 5090 Infinity?" And I said, "No, I missed it." She's like, "Oh, I've got to bring you back and show you." We went back there, and it was gone. The card was gone. And then she has this look on her face like, where's the card? And I said to her, do you think someone stole it? I mean, it was in a location where someone could have potentially picked it up, put it in their bag, and taken off if they were in the right place at the right time. Jufus and I were talking. It would make no sense for a content creator to do that because if he got caught, it would
Yo,
ruin
yeah.
your reputation. But some random dude at the thing could have done it. She went to find it and couldn't find it, so it was a little weird. But and then my last two were Bywin was impressive, and we can talk a little bit more about them. But their memory kits were impressive. Their timing absolutely sucks to enter the market
Yeah.
in at least in North America at this time. So that was impressive. The what was it? The Vortex. I've got it here. It was the Origin Code Vortex is their ROG brand. That was impressive. And then the last one was NVIDIA. And I say this from the perspective that I was very impressed that they came out and made DLSS 4.5 available on all RTX platforms dating back to the 20 series. Uh, I think it's very easy to beat up on NVIDIA. And I think to myself, if AMD had done that, they would have gotten huge round of applause from everyone. Uh, but it was NVIDIA. And so I think we've got to give them credit for that. And ironically, someone was complaining about on my channel, someone was complaining about DLSS 4.5 not working very well on 20 series cards. And my response was, this is exactly why AMD did not release the
FSR.
Redstone or their
Yeah, yeah.
FSR4 on older cards, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you release it on older cards, you're going to get complaints that it doesn't perform well, which is the reason why you don't release it on older cards. And if you don't release it, you get the, why are they gatekeeping? They want to so that's just physics. That's just engineering. You are not going to run things as well on older cards. But I applaud NVIDIA for opening it up to older cards. I thought that was a good move. So that was my top 5.
You know what I'm scared of? Just in general with the hardware space. I'm scared that the whining and bitching is gonna just make the manufacturers just be like, well, screw all these people. We're just not gonna release anything then. So it's like I'm assuming Nvidia did all that because they canceled the Super Series, obviously. I don't,
Yeah.
not confirmed, but canceled, whatever. And they're like, so we got to release something. Let's release a software solution kind of thing, right? And then they get lambasted for it instead of rewarded for it. At least they're trying to do something, right? And then it's like, well, they could have just not done anything. Like Jensen could have just talked about self-driving cars for 2 hours, and then they could have just closed up all of CES and not had any. And then they would have just made more money doing that. It's like I don't know why, but gamers are really whiny. Like I don't know why the headlines are all like super whiny too. Like I mean, I guess the headline for this stream is GPUs are canceled or whatever, right? People just love that shit, dude. So that's what I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm afraid the whining is gonna get to people, man. And it's unfortunate because if you whine a lot, your channel grows faster.
I mean, a perfect example of that is GN, right? He's basically stopped making tech content and is just focused on whining.
Yeah.
And I mean, on X the other day, I literally wrote, "This is a genuine question. Are you okay?" I mean, it's like he's going after
you posted that?
Palantir. Yeah, he's going after Palantir. I actually wrote a nice comment, right? I didn't just attack him, but he's going after Palantir. Why? Like, why? What makes you think? And I know what it is. He's figured out the secret that if he whines enough and complains and makes everyone a villain, he gets clicks, right? I get it. But like, he does not understand defense. He does not understand that space. He does not understand that NVIDIA has been working with defense for 20 years. I mean, I was doing it, right? That's how I got to know Jensen and stuff. So he has no background in this, but he feels the need to start these battles. And I'm like, I mean, look, I hate to say stick to your lane, but man, that is so out of his lane.
No,
I get
okay.
like.
So here's the thing. What do you? I mean, because we're creators, we can see what he's doing, but it's not really any different than like Jay doing his thing or Hub doing his. They're just doing what they gotta do to grow and like feed the audience. Do you sell the smoker cigarettes, or do you tell them it's not good for them?
I think there's you're absolutely right, but I think there's another level to this, and it's to do with the news of the Super Series. I mean, it's not news that the Super Series isn't going to launch, but I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Series isn't going to launch, right? It would be the dumbest thing ever to launch cards with more VRAM in this market. But so I was thinking about that, and the content creators that hurts the most are all of the channels that get early samples and rely on day one reviews, right?
What do you
Because you
mean?
think of Hub. So Hub relies on being, getting so many views from day one reviews. They get a sample from Nvidia or whoever it is early. They do all their testing. When the new card launches, they are ready with their review and they get a crap load of clicks. So does Jay, well, maybe not Jay, but GN. They all do day one reviews, right? And they all do that. So the fact that these cards have been canceled and there's not a lot of new GPU, CPU hardware coming out, the channels that hurts the most are the hubs, right? And so I
Oh,
think they're desperate. And the reason, just not to change topics, but you mentioned the 5070 Ti being canceled. Tim was the one that did a video on that. And the reason they found out that it's end of life was because Steve was going to do a roundup of all 5070 Ti's that are on the market because he's got nothing else to do. And so they reached out to the manufacturers, and it was Asus, according to them, that said we can't supply. Oh, they were having trouble sourcing 5070 Ti's, meaning getting samples. And it was Asus that said we're actually going to make it end of life. And so that says to me, Steve has nothing to do. He's got no new products to
I
review,
see. I
right?
see.
So
So
I'm
they're
actually
they're
thinking,
purely based off of what's launching.
I think so. That's their cycle. And so when you look at maybe Jay less so, because Jay just basically, it's like he turns the camera on, he falls over a couple of times, and like that's a video,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. It does
so
so
put
well
him
too.
aside. I
It
mean,
does so well.
it is right.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Dude,
look.
Jay's my idol. I fucking love that guy, dude. It's so funny. He
I,
he makes a 10-minute video and he'll make more money than we ever will, man. Just by like
he, he
stumbling over and shit. It's
he
so
makes a
funny.
10-minute video talking about how he screwed something up and he shows it. Or, hey, you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what? I woke up this morning and there's this box on my desk, so I'm going to open it. Oh, look at this. It's something that someone sent me. And he just talks about it for 10
Yeah,
minutes
yeah.
and he gets like 1 million views. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. And then he switches
Um,
back to AMD and Intel
oh,
every
yeah.
3 months. That's so
Yeah.
good. Oh my God, it's so
It is
good.
rinse and repeat, right? But I mean, there's lots of channels out there. GN is another one. Look at LTT. Their labs haven't released a video for quite some time. He has LTT Labs, right?
I didn't
And
even know that was a thing.
yeah, so
That
that's
was the
the
benchmark
group that
channel?
it's not a different channel. It's part of LTT.
Uh-huh.
But when they do their reviews, it's the LTT Labs entity that does all the testing, right? And that's actually what triggered that whole drama with GN. It was a lab tour that people were on. So,
I remember,
um,
yeah.
but anyway, my point is that I think it hurts them more. I mean, the fact is, I wasn't getting, wasn't doing day one reviews anyway because it takes me time to produce the video, and I would have never done it day one. But I think it hurts them more. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if Hub, because Steve kind of has run out of ideas, starts doing a little bit more of the drama aspect, right? And mimics GN a little more,
I can see that
right?
too. I can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, well, if their content is based off of hardware cycles, I mean, what else can you do? Like, can you blame them? I guess is the point. It's like, it's like if the audience clicks on it and they love that shit, they love it so much, dude. That's actually the one thing that kills me the most about you could say about society in general, actually. It's just everyone, dude, even if you meet people IRL, like new people, everyone is so doomer. It's brutal, dude. I went for lunch a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we went for lunch. And it was a couple of new people I haven't met before and a couple of old friends. And they just like went into conspiracy theories like 20 minutes in. And I'm like, how is this productive? Like it's conspiracy theories, doomer. I can't do anything. The world is over. It's like, and it's like this it's like doesn't matter what scene or field or hardware, politics, whatever. It's like what is going on? It's like why is everybody being brainwashed to just want negativity all the time? Like what is that? And as a
It's a
career,
dopamine hit, right?
is it though? Like because so
I think
I
so.
oh dude, I was talking to this chick literally in the gym like an hour and a half ago, and I was texting her, and then she's like, I need a break from social media because all I see is doom and gloom. And I'm like, no, hang on.
Don't click on
I
it.
was like, your algorithm is giving you what you click on. And I'm like, what do you think I get in my feed? By the way, I discovered a new animal called a prairie dog.
I know what that is.
It's just a squirrel that howls, and it's like there's entire channels of these little squirrels, and people have them as pets and shit. Anyway, so I send her a screenshot of my feed, and it's all prairie dogs and it's all ducks and cats. That's all it is. There's no negativity on my wall whatsoever, and it's just petting animals and shit. And then it's like,
So it's funny story. A couple, right?
yeah.
So, but I don't know how this happened, but there was a certain point where something come across my feed. It was beavers, right? And there's scientific studies done that if you watch a beaver eat, it reduces your stress
Dude,
level. Like,
yes, a fucking dude, 100%, dude. So this lady gives her little prairie dog like an almond or whatever, and then she has like a fucking 8K camera, and she like zooms in, and it's just like, and then it just like. You can see the jaw like slowly going in circular motions and shit. It's like the most phenomenal fucking content. I love that shit so much. It's like I can watch that for hours. It's so entertaining, right?
I was doing some testing in my office, and I had YouTube up, and I had a beaver on, like watching that. I think my wife walked in. She's like, "What the hell are you watching?" And I'm like, It's pretty.
It's awesome.
It's a stress reliever. It's pretty impressive, right?"
Yeah,
But
it makes me
we're
feel
talking
happy.
about the focus on negative. I think we talked about this, which was, um, if you ask a bunch of people in the room, look around the room and notice anything that's red, right? And you will immediately
Right.
focus in on everything that you see is red. Now ask them to close their eyes, and then while their eyes are closed, say, what did you notice that was blue? And they can't name anything,
Yeah.
right? And the point is that what you focus on is the life you live. So
Yes.
if you're only focused on negativity, your life will be negative. And it's not, this isn't some magical thing. It's basic, right? Like if you're simply feeding negativity and focused on negativity, everything you see will have a negative spin. And the flip side of that is that if everything you focus on is positive, your life will be positive, and you will make, so if someone does something to you, like you're driving and they cut you off, if you've got a negative spin, it's like they intentionally did that, they did this. You don't know what their intentions were. You have no idea why they actually did it. If you have a positive spin, it can be, you know what, it's not a big deal, let it go. And it's like, oh wow, like it's a beautiful day, the sun is shining, I'm enjoying life, right? And you think of all the things you're grateful for, and like it
So
really does make the difference, right?
so then as a creator, when do you just like admit defeat? So
Yeah, that's
you know,
interesting.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like I I make a video, dude. The other day I made a video. It was like, these are the top 5 PCs or whatever to build. It was a video that was pure value. It's like, these are the sticks to get on like Facebook Marketplace. This is the best kind of bang for buck, whatever, pure value. It's like 7 out of 10. It didn't do horribly, but it didn't do very well. If I made a video tomorrow saying AMD doesn't work in Arc Raiders, I know it's going to be number 1. Like, I just know.
So, I had a similar experience, right? When I did the response video to Hard Round Box
Yeah,
saying that
yeah.
all overclockers are grifters. That video, I think I mentioned this to you, right? I got some ridiculous number of subscribers from that video. And
When do you
the
admit defeat?
problem, the problem is this. I didn't enjoy making the video.
Yeah.
Part of it was I had to actually watch the clowns like
Yeah.
repeat things, right? So, but I found myself making it and pausing every few hours and running a bench test of something because I did not enjoy it. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but during that time I reached out to Linus. I talked to him via email, every so often. And I asked him about it, and he said, it's funny that you mentioned that. He went down a path at one point where he was making negative content, and it was his wife that stepped in and said, hey, you're making yourself miserable, why are you doing this, like, and it was, he was chasing the views, but he
Yes.
was hurting himself in the process. So he made the conscious choice not to do that. And I really I appreciated that, because that is a guy that is the largest PC
Right.
Tech channel consciously choosing not to go down the negative path. So I'm consciously choosing not to, go down the negative path. And if it kills the channel, it kills the channel, but I'm consciously choosing not to do it. And I don't like it. Look, if I'm forced into the thing of having to do negative stuff, it's going to hurt me personally in my personal life, and I'm not going to enjoy what I do, then I might as well stop what I'm doing. So it doesn't mean that I won't do like a video like the Hub one or the J one when he says something insanely stupid and you're like, this is wrong, please don't
Yeah.
follow his advice. But at the same time, it's not gonna, I don't know, I've made 80 videos on my channel. I've made two what you could call drama, or maybe
React.
three. I
Yeah.
did an
Yeah.
Asus one, right? But it was before
Yeah.
Steve did
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
Asus one, right?
You know, I've it was about 2 years ago. I think I fell into the same trap where it sucks. It sucked, and this happened to me twice actually. But the one time during the pandemic, I used to just make nothing but Call of Duty videos, and I'm like, guys, I'm not having fun. I'm done with this, right? And everyone told me my channel was gonna die, and it did for a while. It was a huge dip in viewership when I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm not making any Call of Duty videos anymore. I just don't care. Monetization suffered, everything suffered, right? I forced it into the hardware path, right? And then after about 3 or 4 months of forcing it, it ended up working out. I think because I was more passionate about it, right? Then what happened after that was people were coming onto my live streams, like my main ones, and they wanted me to do was react to large tech tubers. And then I did that for a while, and like my Twitch viewership and my YouTube viewership, I was poaching viewers left, right, and center. All I was doing was reacting to larger, and it's such easy content to make, right?
I know,
Oh my
I
god, it's
know.
so
Because
easy.
it's you literally, particularly when you do it live, you just play a section
Yeah, and then you just
and you
clip
just
it.
react.
I'm done. Yeah, and then I do like 2 of those a week, and I'm done my work for the next month. It was incredible, right? It's the easiest shit.
Yeah.
Then after like a month of doing that, I would go live. I would start not wanting to press the live button because I would go live, and then within 5 minutes I'd have like, can you react to this video? Can you react to this video? Because it's comedy for them. And then eventually I got to the point where I'm like, guys, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I just don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I know it's entertaining for you, but it's just like I'm not. And then near the end of it, this was right when Jay did the 4080 Super with time spy saying RAM speed doesn't matter. That was like one of the last ones I ever did. And then that one specifically, they're like, "Did you see Jay do the RAM speed thing?" I'm like, "I don't care, guys. Why are you watching it? Like, why? Just stop watching it, right?" And then I was like, "All right, I'll react to this last one." And I like looked at the ground for like 30 seconds. And then I pulled like an LTT out of it. I was like, let's react. And then like I just like switched it on, and the video was number one. And I'm like, I wanna off myself. This isn't fun. Like, I'm not having fun doing this. The audience loves that shit. They love
I
it, dude.
know.
It's so brutal, man. Being a creator. We all start off wanting to like provide value and like fuel the soul, be artistic and stuff. The audience just wants AIDS, dude. They just want that AIDS, and you just want to. And it's like the more AIDS the content, the less effort, the more time you save. Like it's just it's tough,
I-
man.
I'll give you
It's
I'll give
tough.
you a good example,
It's so
right?
tough.
And I was I've got a you know this, I've got a matrix and I was working on it, and I've decided to delay that video because I want to do some things with a V-BIOS and other
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
you're aware of. And I don't have some of those things in place, so I thought let's delay it. But one of the things that ran through my mind was, okay, so I go and test the matrix.
Oh, you cut off.
Put all of this awesome data together. I get it out there, and I guarantee the first comment is, you know, like, no one can buy that card. You got it gifted to you.
Hang on, give me 1 sec. Hang on.
That's my mind is.
Hang on, can you wait
Man,
a sec? Wait a sec. Wait.
Something paused.
No, I think my internet just lagged. Give it
I saw you kind of stall on the screen for a bit.
give me a sec.
It looks better now.
It seems fine now. It like the OBS bars went through. It was like packet loss or something. Oh no, it just did it again. Interesting. I'm actually going to turn off. This is unfortunate. No way. I think
It happened.
no.
It happened again, and now you're back.
Yeah, no. It just said OBS disconnected. So I think my internet is literally like on the fritz right now. This is odd. I'm going to turn off Twitter.
Yeah, it looks like
see if that improves it.
Happened.
Hang on, I'm gonna turn off Twitter. Okay. How's this? I turned off Twitter. No, it's still doing it. Bruh. This is unfortunate.
Here.
Damn it.
Yeah.
This is hella unfortunate. I can't it's like OBS it's like OBS is
it the new software, you think?
That's what I'm thinking. It's not letting me turn off Twitter now. This is super weird.
Yeah.
Let me turn you off. Okay, well anyway, you saying it seems fine. I turned off Twitter on the other end.
Let's shut it down in Twitter.
On the web browser. Yeah. So but it's still technically uploading to Twitter. So I'll keep trying to turn it off in the meantime. But can you hear me fine? Everything's fine now?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Fine now.
Okay, so maybe it is a bandwidth issue. I'm not sure. Or it's the app doing it. But anyway, it's not the router, guys. God damn. If one person mentions the router again, I'm banning you. Stop it. Just stop. Zero tolerance. Dude, router bros are insufferable. Have you ever encountered router bros? Or like internet optimization bros?
I have zero interest.
That's actually a good. I know, dude. Oh my god, that's actually a good topic for maybe a different podcast. But it seems like no matter which lane of hardware you go down, even like Jess's keyboards, there's like a whole level of like min-max obsession that all these like hardware bros go through. Like peripheral
How
bros.
Do you min-max a keyboard?
That's what like peripheral bros. They'll try like 100 different mice. They'll try 100 different keycaps on their keyboard. They'll try like different mouse pads. It's lunacy, dude.
Hold on, is that worse than us binning CPUs and things? I don't know.
I don't do that anymore. I used to for the No, I used to for the 10. Oh, hang on, my alarm. I'm gonna see if this stock. Dude, HUD is down 7.8%. I gotta buy this shit.
So while you do that, on a slightly different topic, is I had never run DimFit before, and I was curious. Right. You know, JJ had mentioned that. I literally just finished running. It took 5 hours and 30 minutes to run. So I'm very curious to see if it actually has done anything of benefit to the RAM
So here's the
after
thing.
5 hours.
So um the thing with dim fit, it's here there's, how do I word this? There's always this weird gray, like a very blurred line between extreme overclocking and gaming that people really confuse with that shit. So let's say, for example, you run the dim fit, and let's say you get an extra 200 megahertz on the RAM, 0 FPS.
I agree
So
for 5.5 hours.
exactly, exactly.
The problem now though is it took 5.5 hours to run. Once I enable it, I still have to run Kahu to
Yep,
check if it's stable.
yep.
So so it would have been, I think, faster. So this is what that's why I'm doing it, right? I think it's faster to manually tune it. I think it's a lot faster, right?
Oh,
And it doesn't
absolutely.
really, as long as you know what you're doing, it doesn't really save you any time. But I'm very curious to see if it even does a good job tuning. Like if I run Kahu and it errors within the first minute, right?
Let me know. Let me know. I'm
I'm
curious. Yeah.
very, very curious.
Yeah, me
It
too.
literally stopped. It finished while you were you were
Yeah.
losing
I
your
saw
internet.
the
So
thing in the back going to
yeah,
BIOS. What platform are you doing it on?
it was on an AM5 platform, right? Just on my X870E
Oh
Hero
yeah.
with
So
a
then
9800 X3D.
so
I'm
you
very
you wouldn't even get like 100 megahertz then, even then.
so I don't even so and that's the thing. I just wanted to let it, and I, by the way, I purposely put in 6000 CL30 because I
Yeah.
want to give it headroom to see what it does.
Right,
And I'm
right.
very curious, what is it going to do? Is it like going to does it change the speed? Does it change the FCLK? Does it tighten the timings? I have no idea what it did for 5.5 hours. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that, there's a lot of things that ASUS does in their BIOS that sounds good on paper, but is a complete, like remember how they were pushing ASUS AIOC a couple years back?
I tried that, and that was so unstable.
Dude,
Like
that was killing
every
CPU.
time.
Notice how they don't promote that anymore?
Nah,
Yeah, it was
nah.
literally
The worst
frying
thing
CPUs, dude.
it was, and
En
the worst
masse,
thing,
en masse.
well, I tried it multiple times, and what I found is it'd be stable for like a few days, and then on the third or fourth day, every time
Yeah,
it would crash the system.
yeah.
And it'd be like during something like this, it would crash my system. So I don't, after doing that like 3 times, I just ignored it. Because the thing is, I don't like doing things when I don't understand what it's doing.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed. Yeah.
So it's like sounds good, but if I don't actually understand what it's doing, I'm okay if something does something that I don't know how it did it, but I know what it did. I'm okay with that, right? Like for example, DimFit. If I'm supposed to have saved. If I can go through now and see what it saved, then I don't care how it did it. I just care that what the result is, and maybe it's great, but I just have this bad feeling. It's the same thing as
Here's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Gigabyte released this X3D series of motherboards,
Oh yeah.
claiming that it does something. I can guarantee it does absolutely nothing. And they launched it with the claim that they could run 9,000 mega transfers per second stable, and that is technically true, but not on it's on an APU, right? So it has
Oh
a
yeah.
very
Right.
different memory
Yeah.
controller. And so you can't market something as
They all
X3D,
do that shit.
claim it does
Yeah.
9,000, but not on an X3D
Yeah.
chip.
They all do that
Right?
shit.
So that's just shady marketing,
You know
right?
what that X3D feature is? They just turn SMT off and they turn the other CCD off. It's
I know
insanity,
what
dude.
they do.
Dude, it's
It's
insanity.
stupid.
I literally, I've been telling AMD bros, I'm like, you bought the wrong chip. Sorry, you got scammed. Disable your other CCD. And then like I got like mega like hate for it for years, dude. Like, hey, you just don't skill issue. You don't know what you're doing. These 20 registries make it work fine. I'm like, cool, bro. And Gigabyte releases an entire line of fucking new motherboards where the toggle it just disables that shit for you. It's like, congratulations. Like,
So,
oh my god, dude.
talking about that, that is
Humans
an
are
excellent
insufferable.
transition into the two biggest disappointments at CES. Do you
Mm.
want to do one and I'll do the other?
You know what my favorite one was?
What's that? Oh
Did
yeah,
you-
we didn't do your favorite.
oh, just the minis forum one. That's it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's right.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you love
so
that.
excited for that. I literally, I spam, dude. As soon the day I got back, I spam all their emails. I'm like, yo, you gotta send me this shit. I love it. Just do it. And then she replied back. She's like, as soon as it's available, you got it. I'm like, let's
Oh,
go,
that's good.
let's go, minis forum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
because.
that was what's interesting. They were in the North Hall. They were in an entirely different area. So that's the other thing
Yeah,
I
that was
think
weird.
viewers have to understand. There's a couple of things that are very weird, and at least I explain this to my viewers, like why you didn't see me cover certain brands. It's not because I didn't like them or I didn't want to. It's because I had no idea where the hell they were. So CES is so huge. The majority of PCTech is at the Venetian Expo, right? That's the majority is there. So Intel had the entire fourth floor, for example, for who knows what reason, but whatever. And then everyone else, Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, they're all there, right? The problem is some of the brands like Corsair, some of the bigger brands, they won't participate in the expo. They'll buy a suite, a private
I
suite,
hate that.
and they will invite you up. And so you don't actually know where the hell they are, and unless you have a good connection, you don't get to see stuff. And it's also kind of creepy too. Like they'll have a
It
computer on a
is.
sink.
It
Right?
is, yeah, dude,
It's
yeah, yeah.
weird,
It is
right?
so weird. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember when I went to the Patriot booth
Oh
2 years ago. Yeah, they had the same thing. It was in a hotel room and they like moved the couches out of the way and like had like a desk in the middle with like a water cooled PC. It felt like I was gonna gonna get raped or something, you know, like I was like, like it was so like the like it was so odd. I'm like, I don't know. It's like
It is
it's
a
like
weird feeling,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like going
Because
behind the
you're walking
curtain.
up into someone's room, right? And
It is super
you know,
weird.
I mean, I could only imagine how it feels as a female versus a guy, right?
Oh my
Because
god, yeah.
it is definitely that. I went to see, for example, Inwin, and they were in a suite, and it's just you kind of walk in, you're like, am I in the right place? And there's a little sign, and
Because there's like
um,
four of them and one of you as well, so
yeah,
it feels like
it's
interrogative.
weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It is a bit weird, but a lot of companies did that. And so if I don't know, like InWin, I had a prior connection and they invited me. If I don't know they're there and I don't have that prior connection, I'm not going to
Why
cover
do
them.
they do that? Is it cheaper?
Oh, it's way cheaper. Oh,
Oh,
significantly
I
cheaper.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
why.
I don't blame them for doing that because it is significantly cheaper. But it is anyway, so there's that, but at least they're in the Venetian. And then there's a whole bunch of other companies, right? That are, for example, like my keyboard,
Where was ASRock?
Keychron. I don't know
Dude,
if ASRock was there.
no, they were. They're
They
there.
were?
They're there every
They
year, but
must
now
have
I
had a
have
tweet.
no. They do. The pictures from Tech Power Up are all on a sync. Like
Oh,
actually
okay.
though, yeah. There's like literally the motherboard is propped up against the faucet of the sink. Like it's just.
So, so I mean that's a good example. And then there's a bunch of other companies like Minis Forum and Keychron and like Razer for years, although they were at the Venetian this time, but that are in the main hall. Now the main hall, it takes you how long does it take to go around one of the things in the main hall? Like half an hour
Yeah.
if you don't stop, right? So
Newegg was in the
it's
main
hard
hall
to
as
cover.
well.
Sorry.
Newegg was in the main hall as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
They were actually good to visit, right? And so,
Yeah,
yeah, there
it's
was a
funny.
bunch
Yeah,
that
you
were
know
like
what's
that.
funny? The Newegg and Minis Forum were my two favorite booths, or the two most,
Yeah.
or maybe the two most non-time wasty ones. Do you want to know? I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it, but you want to know like a secret, like a thing?
Me
Yeah.
or the audience?
No,
Oh
both,
yeah, sure.
yeah, both. So
Yeah.
the Ram fan that we saw
On
on from Bywin?
Byron?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm seeing if I can get that made for myself.
That's
Yeah.
cool,
And
right?
it's like it's a very strong possibility that it's happening. And the idea is gonna be um
Are you
I,
gonna screw it into the top of the bins
yeah.
like they? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So I don't know how much capital I'm gonna have to front for this, but the idea is it's gonna be compatible with my old RAM kits. So
Mm.
people that bought it before can just screw it bolt it on, and then I can order a fresh set of aluminum heat sinks that don't cost as much as copper, and then I will sell bundled RAM fan kits for
Oh, that's
people.
a good idea.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
great idea. Yeah.
um, we'll see if I can. It might cost me like 50K or some shit insane like that to actually get it made. I'm trying to get them to prototype it themselves first because there's nothing stopping them from just stealing it too,
Mm.
and just selling it on their own store. But anyway, and
I'm curious. Um, that I wonder if you could look into for the fans 3D printing the fan part
you could.
because that doesn't have to be a heat sink. It just has to hold the fans,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you could. Yeah. I don't have
Yeah.
you know what? Funny enough, if this doesn't, I want it to be professional, obviously. Like
Yeah,
what,
no, I got
and
it.
yeah, anything that has my brand logo on it has to be like top grade. Like
Yeah,
those
yeah. You
RAM
want it to
kits were
look really good too,
flawless. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I want it to all match and like be chrome and like polished and all that shit. But the worst case scenario, I could just buy, if this doesn't pan out, I could buy a really nice 3D printer, and I can get the heat sinks themselves made. I already have the blueprints for that, or the company already has them, so it wouldn't cost them anything to just switch it over to aluminum, or they already have the tooling or whatever. And then I can just 3D print the damn fans myself and use
So
use
if
little
you
Noctuas or something.
Yeah, so if you go down that path, the person's channel that I would watch is Optimum because he spent a lot of
Yeah.
time investigating 3D printers for his mouse, and he look at what he uses, and like even the materials he uses. He explains it in some of his videos.
Oh,
I don't
good.
watch
Yeah.
a lot of his stuff,
Me
but
neither. Yeah.
it's it his he does. He's one of those guys that does like one video a month, but it's such good quality, and
Yeah.
it like it's anyway. I digress.
But no,
So
the whole point of that is because we're in a DRAM. This is like my business idea, and now watch
mm,
somebody's gonna fucking steal it. But um, it, the that's the nice thing about having a brand. They can't steal your brand. They can steal the idea, but they can't steal the brand, right? So the idea there being is because we're in a DRAM shortage. If you pick up like green PCB sticks anyway, they're usually like ass cheeks, but you can just overvolt the shit out of them. So now it's like, hey, if you find some green PCB sticks off of Craigslist or the marketplace, get this heatsink fan set up from my store, and then you can just overclock the balls out of them without water cooling, right?
and they'll look good.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, they'll have my
Yeah,
logo on it. It'll be
yeah,
sick,
yeah.
right? But it'll be just different enough from the OG RAM kits to not remove the specialness of those ones, right? Anyway, that's
By the
that.
way,
Yeah.
I did look at JD.com. I think it's called
Oh yeah,
Jingdong.com
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to see if I could even find the origin code Vortex that they said was on there.
yeah,
So my biggest, first of all, I couldn't locate them. Not
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just wanted to see the price. I couldn't even locate them because when you go there in Google, you get the option to translate to English, but as soon as you click on a link, you lose the option to translate to English. So it all goes into Chinese. And and then I'm looking at Mandarin thinking
You got
I
to
have
use
no
Google
idea what they're
Translate with
saying.
your phone and just look through the
Or
camera. Yeah,
yeah, or you've got to select it all and
yeah, yeah.
translate, and it was a pain, and I don't know why it didn't come up. So
But
anyway,
no,
we'll
you know
see.
what?
But
The whole reason I even thought of that was because I was so salty that company was so transactional Like, how many subscribers do you have? How many view count? How many views can we expect if we send you this $400 RAM kit? It's like, brother, I will spend $50,000 and do it myself. Like, you don't know who you're fucking with, right? I'm gonna take your fucking idea and I'm gonna rob the shit out of it. Like, that's like, you don't fuck with me, right? I
By the
was
way, by the
so
way,
salty.
this was my experience with Doofus for 3 days at CES. Which was I'm not going to another meeting. Literally, I
Oh,
got that every
God.
morning for half an hour. I'm not going to another meeting. These guys waste my time.
Dude,
My
it's
time is more
insufferable.
valuable.
It's insufferable. It's little so so
It wore me out too, right? But
you saw the contrast between Newegg and Minis, dude. So we go to
I agree.
we go to Minis forum together, and the girls come up to me and they're like, "We'll give you whatever you want. We love you. Just take it all." Right? I'm like, I will bend over backwards for you guys because it's like a fucking respect thing, right? And then you go to like the bigger brands or like these like RAM manufacturers, and they're like, we're not sure if we can spare the $400 motherboard. It's like, oh my god, just get away from me. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So every morning when you texted me, you're like, hey, I got this meeting. I'm like, you're on your own, buddy. I'm good. No meetings for. I'm so done with meetings. I appreciate Cliff a lot for that in MSI. Um, I talked to him
Because
for
he
like,
just said, "Do your own thing."
yeah,
Right?
I talked to him for like 45 seconds. I'm like, can you show me the power supply? And I got like epic footage of that. And he's like, I'll be over here if you need me. I'm like, thank you, Cliff. I'm like, dude, in my video, I'm like, MSI, give Cliff a raise because that's the
Yeah.
only guy that didn't waste my time with nonsense,
No,
dude.
and so the thing I find refreshing with Cliff is that he will tell you immediately, there's no way I'm going to be able to source a
Yeah,
5090 to you, right? And I would rather that than the promise of something that never happens, right? And so,
it's the
I would rather
wishy-washiness.
be sorry?
It's the wishy-washiness of it.
Yeah, and and the other thing I like about Cliff, and I don't know how big of a scope he has, but whenever I don't send him that many emails, but whenever I send him an email, he gets back to me really fast.
Within the day. Yeah,
I
exactly.
know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
very
It's
impressive.
I asked
And,
I
you
asked
know,
Asus to sample that monitor, the Pulsar. I need to try the damn monitor for my audience, right? Even though I'm like 99.9% sure it's not as good as OLED, I got to try it anyway. But whatever. So and then I'm like, in the email to Asus, I'm like, guys, I please just give me a firm yes or no.
yeah,
I just because it's in stock right now. Do I go and buy it, or can you send me one or whatever,
yeah.
right? And then he was like, Danny was like, Samir should be able to get that for you. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll buy it. I don't care. Don't worry about it. As soon as the word should is involved in the sentence, I'm like, don't worry. I just can't be bothered. I just rather just buy it. Like I'm not at the level anymore where I need to beg for samples. I'd rather just order it from Newegg. Funny enough, I texted Icy, the Newegg rep. I'm like,
Yeah.
here's the part number. Can you maybe sample this for me? Texted me back in like 20 minutes. She's like, I'll try and get this for you right away.
Yeah,
It's unreal,
so
dude.
first of all, very cool name, right?
I know
Icy,
Icy
right?
is such a sick name. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but
But yeah, yeah,
but
to your point, I don't want to wear them out, right? So I until I have something that I really need, I'm gonna just kind of
not
leave.
just that, but the fact that Minis Forum and Newegg responded right away is like respect. But like the larger brands, they take like a couple of days to respond and they say, "Hey, we'll look into it for you." Like they're almost afraid to just say no. Like, just say no. That way I know I'm not on the hook, or if I'm like, I need to go buy it, I need to like
I
fundraise
was
for
thinking
it.
about that.
Like,
Yeah, I
like
was
what
thinking
is
about that.
that, man? That drives me fucking
I
crazy.
I think they don't want to be seen as not supporting smaller creators. So I think if they just said no and somehow it was, outed, these guys don't want to, I don't know why. I would rather the truth too. And this came about after the previous CES when I was trying to get my
Right.
hands on a 50 series card. And I got a lot of promises, and we're going to try and do this. And honestly, it's much easier if you say no, because now I can like try and get them
Refresh
at
the web
Newegg or
page.
try and
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
I can think about it differently, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
That's what I was saying last year or this year. Remember, I was like, dude, all that talking we did last year yielded absolutely nothing. And then it's like, they don't, it's, I don't find it, I find it far more insulting when they say we'll try or we'll look into it rather than just saying, no, you're not big enough. You don't get enough views or something. Just like,
yeah. Well, and I mean,
thank you for
look,
not wasting my time. Like, I
yeah. So
appreciate that, right?
Cliff doesn't say that. He just says there's no way I can get that for you, right?
Which is
Like
perfect.
for the lightning,
Yeah.
right? Which is fantastic, right? So I just said, hey, is there any way
Oh, you
that I
asked,
can
huh?
get a
I
link?
didn't even
No,
bother. No way.
no, I didn't ask for the card. I asked if I can get a link that I can buy it
I
in
see.
advance of being public. And he's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that. I'm like, all right, at least I know now.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to be there. Now, I think the Lightning is actually going to be like $5,000. So
I think so too.
it might not sell out that fast, right? But
There's only 1,500 of them though. I think it will.
yeah, 1,300.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it will
yeah,
sell out instantly. Which is what
yeah.
Nvidia is looking at that
I
at
mean,
that
it's not
price.
good.
No,
It's not
so the
good
6090,
because
the 6090 is gonna be 5 grand.
yeah, because every generation they look and see what are people buying from scalpers, and so
And AIBs.
and AIBs. Oh, exactly, right?
So
I
when,
mean, look
dude,
at
do you remember? Hang on, sorry. Do you remember when we were at CES last year and we saw the Astral? Like,
yes.
they said there was not going to be a Matrix.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
no,
remember
yeah,
asking them.
yeah. They
Yeah.
said that the Astral was the replacement of the Matrix, and then
Yeah. So that's interesting.
they
Yeah.
also said there was not going to be an X870E Apex.
Oh,
They,
they said that for
yeah,
sure.
they literally said
Yeah.
that. So
But
it's
that
funny.
made sense because you don't need an
Yeah,
X870 Apex.
it's
But
just funny
yeah.
how when there's money on the table, all of a sudden a decision can change pretty damn quickly, right?
Well,
When all of a sudden they can make double the margins for the same damn product.
well, I would say they're kicking themselves because I got a Matrix and it was a lot of money. It was 4 grand. That's it. That's the box at least, right? Um, I
You
think
could have
given the
bought in
pricing,
two
well, I
founders
think given
edition.
the pricing, given the pricing of 5090s today, that thing's a bargain.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
true. Fair enough.
I could have bought two and sold one for like
Yeah,
$8,000 or
yeah.
whatever, right? Because it's 1,000 copies, right? And so, obviously, I'm not doing that. I'm testing it, but and and it's a crap load of money. But I think Asus is they didn't know when they launched it,
Yes,
obviously.
yes.
But given the current pricing of 5090s, I think if that launched now, that would be 5 grand.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's why I'm
100%. Yeah,
thinking, what do you think the Lightning's going to be? Lightning's got to be at least 5 grand.
it's
It's
gonna
got
be
1,000 watt
5,000.
BIOS,
It's gonna be
right?
5,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the shortages. Well, yeah, I guess the 5070 Ti is over and canceled and all that shit. I guess it kind of relates to the shortages and everything. I told my boys that there's gonna be a small if they're actually looking for a 5090. It seems like the Gigabyte Infinity, the Lightning, and the new ProArt 5090 from Asus, they're all gonna launch end of this month, beginning of February. So there might be a small window where you can buy a card and not get raped. But I think that's gonna be like the last batch, and then it's over.
Because
It's over.
they're already
They
being
made,
shipped,
yeah,
right?
they're already made, yeah.
The one thing though, I heard that the Lightning isn't going to be until late February, but
Oh, maybe, yeah.
yeah, the other cards. So the good thing about the Infinity is that it's one power connector. So it's really going to compete with existing 5090s, right?
Same with the
So
ProArt. Same with the ProArt, yeah.
yeah, so those cards should be more reasonable, whatever
They're
reasonable
going to be
is. But,
$3,000. They're going to be 3,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So that's what I would expect,
I
right?
want to get one of those just for
Which one?
curiosity, either or, because I think they're both the
Yeah.
same. But I think because I want to know if they use that ribbon cable shit for their PCIe slot.
That's
Or
interesting
if
because
it's a singular
yeah,
board. Yeah, well, think about it because they're both blow through designs, right? And the Founders
yeah.
Edition has 2 ribbon cables. And
Mm.
when I asked Asus or JJ, I think you were there, he's like, no, it's a completely custom board. I didn't think to ask if it was a ribbon cable or not, right? That's because that would be awesome for water blocking if it was like that compact and not have a ribbon cable. But anyway, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah, I cut out again.
yeah, your connection just dropped for a minute. So
Hang
I
on.
think, yeah,
Just give it a second. Let it
yeah.
OBS reconnection. It's definitely an ISP thing or an internet thing. It's gotta
Well,
be.
so one thing to be aware of yesterday, Verizon had a major outage in the US. I was actually traveling back from New York because I had to go in there to renew a passport. But I was traveling back from New York and had zero service. And there was a major outage over like the entire northeast of the US. So it could
No,
be something to
maybe.
do with that, right?
Maybe, but I've never had this
If it's
issue
ISP
before. Yeah,
related,
if it's ISP
right?
related, yeah, I've never had.
Yeah.
But I did also change the multi-stream software though. So usually when something is different, it's the last thing that you changed. So I'll know on Saturday for sure when I stream on my channel if it is this software or if it's actually the internet, because this is a new ISP for me too. But there's been no issue so far, right? But anyway,
You said that it's a new ISP, but with a lot more bandwidth, though, right?
way more. Oh yeah, no, I never had
Yeah.
bandwidth issues anyway though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I was saying though was yeah, so the if there's no ribbon cable though, that would be the optimal water block card kind of thing, right? It would just
For
be
sure.
compact as
Yeah.
shit. But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing I liked about the Infinity is that it has those two big pass-throughs and then the small fan in the middle. So yeah, that would be very interesting to pull apart because I'm very curious.
have you ever gotten a response from Gigabyte? I have like four business cards, and I've emailed all 4 of them, and I have never gotten a response from them.
So I got a response from Howard, and we used to chat until I started asking them questions as to why they had this massive performance drop on their X870 boards relative to their X670 boards, and ended up, I was like, guys, you have a problem. It's like 20% performance drop. It's not.
What
It's not
was
like
it?
1%. I kept probing them, and they're like, yeah, we're on it, and they just dropped everything, and I so
You
that's
know,
when
that's interesting because do you remember or maybe you don't remember, but I remember when was it maybe this was pre-pandemic, I don't remember, or during the pandemic, Buildzoid was doing something. Oh no, you know what it was? I remember now. Gigabyte had advertised that their motherboards could do like 8,000 or something like that, and it was just yeah, it was just straight missing. Oh no, it was I don't remember now. God, it was just straight misinformation. Anyway, because Buildzoid is sponsored by Gigabyte, he like I remember he made a video where he was like, I'm really scared to make this video because if I say anything negative about Gigabyte, they take all my samples away. And that was that so that there are 2 things there that lends to how sensitive Gigabyte is to negative criticism. They just like cut you off. And then that also means that's also why I kept telling my boys that self-monetization, self-funding is absolutely critical, man. So that you could he didn't want to make the video because it could have affected his livelihood. That's a huge that's a lot of creators. That's a lot of creators too, man. Like all these like smaller creators that just like suck in. Well, why do you think we get grilled at CES all the time? Like, how many views are you gonna get? The reason why is because 99% of the time, the brands are in the power position, which is odd because they should know that I don't need their damn product. You know what I'm saying? But they well, maybe not Bywin, but the other ones should know better, kind of thing, right? Like if I'm asking, it's because I don't want to sit there mashing the damn refresh button. I made 3 Gs on Super Micro stock today, man. It was sick. Actually, let's see where did Hood finish off?
So what's interesting, you know, you're talking about that. What's interesting is I sometimes I'll see a smaller channel, right? Like they have 5,000 subs, and they somehow got a sample of a
Yep,
like $1,000 motherboard,
for like
and the
400
reason
views.
is, yeah, the reason is that they basically will do
Yep,
anything that brand says. The perfect example of this,
they'll read
and
the
he's a nice
script.
guy,
Huh?
Huh?
They get sent a script, like an
No,
actual
they do,
script.
and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
read it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The perfect example of this is Robitech, right?
Oh,
He's a nice
oh
guy,
yeah, yeah.
but he's like, if you look, he's got every sponsor under the sun because he literally just repeats everything they ask him to,
Dude, he is a
and it's
walking
working for
advert.
him, right?
No, it's not. It's not. Well,
Well,
it
I don't know.
depends. It
I mean,
depends. If you actually go to his channel, he gets like 1,000 views a video. Like
maybe, yeah,
it's a
right.
completely dead channel. It's
But look at his sponsors. He's got like Intel, AMD, Falcon Northwest. He's got all these major sponsors because he literally never says anything bad about the
so
product,
so
right?
is it so here's what we don't know is if it's actually a sponsorship or if it's just a collab in terms of
Well,
I think they just
he's a
fly.
little different. Yeah, he's a little different. If you look at the formation of Robitech, they're all like he's got some direct connection in with like Intel or something because they're all former employees of these companies.
Right.
And
I
so
don't think they pay him for the things that he does though. I think they pay to fly him out as a personality.
they
Not
might.
I don't think
They
they
might.
actually pay him to do that shit because
I don't know. I don't know. I think that he gets paid by these brands to do videos that are paid content.
well why would they pay him? Cuz so if you do you remember how he was
Because
doing
it
a
looks independent. That's the thing,
no
right?
no no, hang on
If
hang on.
you know,
Remember how he was doing an interview with Jacob at the Nvidia booth while we were literally there?
oh, I had left at that point. It must have
Oh,
been while
okay,
you were
yeah.
there.
So it was
Yeah.
Roby and Jacob were doing a live stream on Twitch on the official Nvidia channel, I believe, and the Roby Tech. It had like 50 views, nothing. Nobody was watching it. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So but you know what I'm saying because nobody wants to watch a walking infomercial, right? So,
Yeah, and that's what his channel feels like when you watch it. It
dude,
feels like an infomercial.
dude, when I was 'cause I was like kind of creeping when I was creeping them, I posted on my Discord. I'm like, guys, Robitech is literally a walking infomercial in real life, as he's exactly the same in real
He's
life as
consistent.
yeah, he's just like he's literally a programmed advertising bot. It's insanity, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, not to like talk mad shit. I respect the hustle, whatever. But
yeah.
I would say I
And he
don't.
seems like a nice
He's
guy,
super
right?
nice. Yeah,
Like
I
he
think
really does,
I agree. So
right?
yeah, but I don't think. So back to the 500 viewer channel that gets the $1,000 motherboard. I don't think these people get paid because the so sponsorship departments are different than sampling departments. Sampling departments don't have tax implications. When they send you a motherboard, there's no tax paperwork. There's no income paperwork, right? When a brand actually sponsors you, now there's actually numbers involved, right? So it's a much more like contractual process where you have to sign paperwork, you have to actually agree to the terms and all that shit. Whereas, and you know what? I learned this from a creator called Devin Nash, where he was like, well, I remember that email I got from Anchor. They were like, "We'll pay for your entire CES trip if you just do one video for us."
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, because that falls under the sampling budget, not the we're gonna pay them budget. There's a budget for CES, and then they can just like send you a plane ticket and a hotel ticket and then they just pay with their credit card. There's no like contractual paperwork, right? So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on with these smaller and like Roby and all these guys is I don't think they actually get paid. It's like, here's the company card, we'll pay for your hotel and your flight and we'll give you a sample. So which you know what's funny, because maybe he gets so many samples that it's actually worth it. Like if the guy gets like a $5,000 PC, yeah, it's not cash exchanging hands, but the guy got a $5,000 worth of parts kind of thing, right? So maybe that might be the play too, right? That's why these smaller channels do that shit too, right?
Yeah, no, it was more just an observation of.
If you suck dick, you get the samples.
If you care about viewership, then why are you sourcing samples to small, like, and it literally, I think it's because they're willing to say whatever they want to be said.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
I think that's what it is. Right?
The best example of that was were you a part of the Z890 Hero campaign that Asus did? Asus did a huge campaign for the Z890 Hero.
Those beautiful boxes out to everyone.
Yes,
right?
yeah. I got that one. Yeah, it was supposed to come with a 285K. Never got that shit. Funny. But if you actually go back and you watch every single it was like there was like 200 creators that had like 100 views, like absolutely nothing. They all say the exact same thing in the exact same order and they all launched their video at the exact same time. I'm like, holy shit, guys, this is brain dead shit. I released my video a day after and I said whatever I wanted to say, and I think I got like almost 100,000 views on that video just because I was like, not a bot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's nuts, dude. Just not being a bot is a skill set in 2026. Apparently, it's insanity. But anyway,
hey, you know what this is the thing I tried to pivot to earlier. I think it's important. The
CES thing.
That was our top 5. What are the two biggest? I choose 2 because I have 2 in mind. 2 biggest disappointments from CES.
Okay. So hang on. The minis forum was my favorite. And the power supply was my number 2 from MSI. Everything else I didn't care. Yeah, everything else I didn't care about. I don't care about the Lightning. I don't care about the 5090s. I don't care about motherboards. I don't care about nothing, right? So those are the only 2. Those are the.
Hold on. One thing. Were you at least impressed by Asus eliminating the cables on the AIOs? I thought that was a pretty.
I love that. Yeah, no, but that's like not. It's not like.
Itself, it's not exciting. I get it.
Yeah,
right?
like it's still an AIO. Like it's not like direct die. It's not like I'm more of a performance guy, not an aesthetic guy. So from an actual performance standpoint, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, it doesn't change anything. Yeah. Whereas like the power supply with the 216-pin cable monitoring, it's massive. That's huge. Especially with the power mods that I'm gonna do on my 5090. Massive, right?
Yeah, no, and like imagine running like the 1,000-watt like card. You're gonna need it, right?
Oh yeah.
By the way, it's so ridiculous that cards like 5090s haven't been coming with dual 12-volt high power like
NVIDIA didn't let them.
I know, but I'm just saying it's so ridiculous because you're literally halving the load. Like you just inherently eliminating risk. Right?
No, because I think they didn't allow it because then people would question why the power limit is 600 watts. Right?
Well, yeah, there's that, but there's also the fact that the reason they created this was to reduce the cable clutter from using multiple 8 pins.
Right.
So if they start adding 2 12 pins, it's like, why don't you just stick and go with 4 8 pins or
Fair.
whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, fair
But
enough.
you're right. But it's just now looking back, I'm surprised they didn't allow them to do it on the 50 series, right? At
Why?
least the
Yeah,
5090s.
like why did the Matrix not have 2 8 2 12 or 2 16 pins?
It does. Well,
No, it has,
it
yeah, the thing at the
it has
bottom or
the
whatever.
BTF, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah,
So
but like that, I thought that's like ASUS's backward ass way of getting around Nvidia's patent or limitation or
it,
whatever, right? And then
yeah,
MSI got permission to make the Lightning with 2 16
yeah,
pins.
and what's funny is I saw this on DeBauer has a matrix, and Asus sent him converters that convert the BTF directly to a 12-volt high
Oh, there you
power.
go.
So
Yeah.
now you can use the card on like an Apex board or
Yes. Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So of course, I sent the email to Asus saying, "Could you please send me one of those so I don't have to use the Hero BTF?"
You could
Right?
make one yourself, technically.
You could. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that
Yeah.
because
That's
if
sketchy.
you screw the card up, like,
It's your fault. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Fair enough.
it's your
Yeah.
fault,
Yeah.
right?
True
It's
that.
expensive card and I paid for it, so I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want to
True
do
that.
that.
So those are
Yeah.
the two best. So the worst ones from CES, obviously, like specific products or companies.
No, so I was thinking it was the two that they were the biggest disappointments because I was expecting a lot more was the companies, was AMD and
Oh
Intel,
yeah,
right?
of course. You know
And
what's so
it's like,
odd? You know what's so odd about Intel? They they literally have products. Like they
I
had
know.
they had, yeah, I don't know what, something weird must have, so did AMD. Actually they both did. So they had the 290K. They have the 290K. They
Yep.
have the
And they're
12P
planning to
core.
release it in like April or
Like
something,
two
right?
weeks, yeah, like 3 weeks, yeah. They have the 12P core. They have it. And they have the B780 or
770.
whatever. Or 770. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
770.
They
Yep.
have it. I think they had one more
Well,
too. They had there was something else that they had too, but I can't remember what it was now. But they have all these damn products.
so the
Oh,
crazy
and the
thing, let's
Xeon. The new Granite Rapids Xeon. That
so the crazy thing with Intel, let's talk about Intel for a minute. They could have been heroes by being the only company that announces a new GPU at CES.
and a new DDR4 CPU.
Oh,
They
got it.
literally, yeah, they
I
literally
mean,
could, yeah,
how many different angles? So
yeah,
I actually think that so it was like, I think they caught when they were having their financial troubles. I think they got rid of their entire marketing department and they somehow got hooked up with AMD's marketing department. And then now this is, like the company that AMD outsources marketing to. And
dude,
like, how could we completely waste our booth space? Because the crazy thing with Intel was they had literally the entire fourth
yeah,
floor of the Venetian Expo. The cost of booking that entire
probably like
floor
$1 million.
would have would have been
Yeah,
astronomical, right? We talked about
yeah,
Corsair and others booking a suite because it was cheaper. Intel went the other direction. And what did they put into their display? Nothing. They literally had a
dude,
massive they had four massive screens in the center with a panther running across it and growling the whole time. That's it. Like, are you kidding me?
yeah. I don't know,
I
man.
don't get it.
They're all just constantly playing catch up with Nvidia. It feels like they just like, oh, let's wait and see what Nvidia does, and like let's do that too. They have a robot. We need a robot too. It's like the most beta fucking small penis energy imaginable, dude. Is what that whole Intel and AMD, dude. The AMD booth was comical. They had coffee and like hard
So,
hats and
so,
like shovels.
so
Like,
I
how,
really
like,
do think. So let's explain what happened, right? So first of all, I really do think it was. I went through, just so the audience knows, I went through the AMD booth first, right? I think it was across the hall from
yeah,
Asus or
yeah,
something, and you weren't there. So I'm like, First of all, I walked in, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell this booth is for. There was no AMD sign on the outside on the first day, right? So I walked in not knowing what it was. I didn't figure out it was AMD until I was halfway through their booth. And that's not a joke.
Yeah.
You literally walk in, there's a server rack, and then I took footage, and I know you did too. You posted it, I think.
Yeah, I
I
did.
just put mine in school for my community. But I walked in, and there's a server rack, and then there's some industrial application. Then there's like a whole wall of coffee. And the crazy thing is they did the demo of the coffee for me, and they're like, "Oh, look, and we can predict what coffee you'll want based on asking you a couple of questions, and our CPU was used to do the AI prediction." I'm like, "Dude, I know what coffee I want. I could just ask for it." It was the most ridiculous demonstration of AI. Like it's like I'm walking around with a hammer and everything looks like a nail. Right. And that's like, then you continue down, there's a wall, there's a corridor of kind of nothing, and it ends in, man, another industrial application.
They
Then
had a
you pivot,
robot.
there's a robot,
Yeah.
and there's like there's this tiny corner, and what did it have, a Super Nintendo in it
An
and stuff?
N64.
Right,
Yeah.
N64, and there was one Alienware PC, and apparently somewhere there in this tiny corner was the 9850 X3D.
No, they didn't have it there. You had to ask for it.
Oh,
They
they
like it
didn't even
like
have it on
no.
display.
It was supposed to be there, but they pulled it for some reason. Yeah. So well, the products that they should have had, they actually did have a 9850 X3D there. And apparently they actually did have that 9950 X3D 2 there too. Like that exists too, and they just never talked about it. So then when I was it Tech Power Up? I don't remember who.
Someone I
Yeah,
saw had the
that one was
9850
actually
X3D.
physically there. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they asked about the 9950 X3D2 and all that, and they're like, oh yeah, stay tuned in February or March or whatever. So it's like, what do we? I'm not sure what the goal
It
was
was
there.
it was the Consumer Electronics Show. So showing the industrial stuff, I do believe that is an attempt to catch up with Nvidia. But it's like it's
But why not
CES.
hype? Yeah, but why not hype it up?
I
Like, why wouldn't?
genuinely
Yeah,
don't know. And I when I walked out of the booth, and I think then I ran into you, like you came up and I said, you have to check out AMD's booth.
yeah.
And you're like, why? I said, it's hard to explain. You just have to walk through it. And
So
I think you
actually,
walk through it, you're like, and if you don't record it, if you don't film it, people don't believe you because it was so bad. I literally think it was like someone's kids over the winter break were given the task of designing the layout of the booth for AMD at CES.
dude,
It was so insanely stupid, right?
CES this year was such a colossal waste of time. It's like if it literally wasn't for you and Jess, like just catching up, I would have been pissed off, dude. Like just literally just going there and wasting my time and like just being away from my cat. Like there, like I think that's probably why I was so triggered with all the meetings that people wanted to do too, because I'm like, yo, there's nothing here. We don't need a meeting to explain to me that nothing is here, right? Um, I don't know.
Well,
Are you gonna go
you know
next
what's
year?
crazy? Sorry?
Are you gonna go next year? Assuming the shortages are still a
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I, 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 I don't. I was considering Computex, but I'm not going to go because I don't think there'll be anything
No,
there either,
no,
right?
no. Just
So, and that's a much higher expense, obviously, from
yeah.
here. I will book CES for next year and then wait and see what happens. But I do think that next year at CES we could potentially see a 60 series and an AMD GPU
I hope
launch,
so.
right? So then it would be hugely
Yeah,
beneficial,
I'm just hoping
right?
that it doesn't. I'm hoping the launch cycle. Well, so you can basically assume that the 290K and the 9950X 3D2 those will probably be Computex now, I guess, which is odd because
Probably.
all the leaks are saying they're coming out next month and stuff. but Computex is in the summer, May or something like that, or
Yeah,
June.
I think these are coming out. I genuinely don't think Intel wants to highlight the fact that they've got these coming out. Right. Number one, the B770. So what's fascinating
So weird.
if if AMD kills the 5060 Ti 16 gig card, the B770 is a great replacement for that card, right?
True. Yeah. True.
So I just don't know why they don't want to highlight. Intel clearly, basically internally, had a discussion that was, we screwed up the launch of Core Ultra. We want to focus on the future. We're going to make CES all about Panther Lake. Now, listen, there's an
Right.
argument to be made that at least that was a consumer product. It was laptops, but it was still a consumer product. AMD, I mean, they didn't. So it was crazy. After I saw AMD and then I went to Intel, I was like, wow, Intel basically said, AMD, you think you're
Yeah.
crappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold my beer,
Yeah.
right? And it was like they basically tried to beat each other down to the bottom. It was very disappointing because I'm not a fanboy of Nvidia, AMD, or Intel. I don't care. I love all technology and I want to see the best technology. And I always support the underdog too, right? I love an underdog story. So Intel being the only GPU, like the new
Yeah.
GPU,
That
would
would
have
have
been
been
so
sick.
good for their brand,
Yeah. That would have been
and they
sick.
just screwed that up.
Twice.
Like, why?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then there's CPUs. Like, if you've got them in the pipeline, how would have it hurt, even if it wasn't in the keynote, how would have it hurt you to take a small amount of the wall space of like literally nothing was there and put some desktops there with a few of these chips there? You could have still focused on Panther Lake, still had your Panther running around the main screen, but you could have had a little wall section for that and another little wall section for B770, and you didn't even have to say it in the keynote, and then people like you and I would have walked in and gone, wow, this is cool, let me film this for my channel and show some people, right? And then AMD, I mean, AMD was just very, very clearly, their intent was to show that they're a competitor with Nvidia in industrial applications. That's all they were doing. That was it was very clear that was their intent. That did not belong at the Consumer Electronics Show. I want AMD to be a competitor to Nvidia in the industrial space, right? But I'll tell you one thing, what makes me feel reasonably confident about the 60 series being announced early next year. Nvidia, and they've been doing this for a long time, Nvidia spends about $1 trillion investing R&D into their next generation chip. What's the next one called? Rubin, I
Reuben.
think,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So they name it all after scientists, but they spend about $1 trillion. They don't develop these chips for gaming. They develop them for AI and data
Right.
center. Right.
Right.
That's why they're willing to spend that amount of money. Right. Because you got to get a return. Right. So they're a business. You have to get a return on investment.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
R&D is very expensive. So those chips, those Rubin chips in the industrial space, right, like AI and data center, are due out in the second half of this year.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
That gives me hope that they will allocate some silicon to gaming, and if they do that, that means we can expect to have a launch for CES. The only reason they would delay
It will be
is
a
if
paper launch.
AMD's GPUs weren't coming out at roughly the same time. Because if there's no competition, then there's no rush for them to get their GPUs out. So if AMD's new UDNA whatever 5, whatever it's called, chips are scheduled for late in the year or early next year, then Nvidia will counter with the gaming chips.
You know what I could see? Yeah. I could see them coming out with the 80 only, like the 103 die.
Oh,
Like
for sure.
yeah, and then they'll
Yeah.
hold off on the 90 and double monetize the same, because they would usually like 6 months before. Well, they've already shut down production of Blackwell,
TI.
basically. Yeah, no, everything. Like good luck getting a 5090 or a 5080 now, right? Good luck. So like basically production is already stopped on Blackwell, like for the most part. So there's a lot of like, oh yeah, well, I mean, if they sell those chips to data centers, Like maybe it's literally just one of those scenarios where they just abandon gaming altogether. 'Cause what's the goal? The goal is to make money. But like the only thing I would say is like they have to launch something, even if it is a paper launch, just to like keep the hype of GeForce going. And it's like
Oh,
a,
I
you know what I'm saying?
agree. I think I so here's a couple of observations I had. I do think they were planning to announce DLSS 4.5 regardless. What I
Agreed.
don't think they were planning to do was the 6x multi-frame gen with the dynamic MFG,
Yeah.
like that stuff. The reason it's not out today and it's going to be in the spring is that was pulled in because they didn't have the Super Series, right?
What a
So
dumb concept for a I don't like that at all.
the dynamic one.
Yeah, it's like variable rate shading but with frame gen.
Yeah, so it
Like
just
frame
basically,
gen
yeah,
like it's like
it's
we're gonna
using frame gen as a filler,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we're gonna make you throw up. The shittier your PC, the more you're gonna throw up. It's like, and the faster you move your mouse around, it's like, this is not it, guys. This is not
I
it.
said to them, instead of locking to an average FPS, you really should be locking to a 1% low FPS
It doesn't,
because
frame gen doesn't even do that though.
but that's the problem, right?
Yeah,
Is if you lock to average, your 1% lows can still suck, and
it
then
looks
you're not
worse.
actually doing anything. It
Yeah,
actually looks worse
yep,
because the gap gets bigger,
yep,
right?
yep.
So anyway, but
It's
I'm
crazy
holding out
that
hope, right? Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's crazy that like how people haven't caught on to that.
Well, I
Like when
mean,
Borderlands
listen,
4 came out and people are like, "Oh my god, I have 1,000 FPS, but it looks like crap." I'm like, "Yeah, dude." Like
watch your
that,
1%
yeah,
lows.
like what, like turn the frame counter off and turn the 1% lows on. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and then
Yeah.
they were
That's why I created that equation,
they were
right?
blaming. Yeah, I remember they were blaming the Borderlands devs, not frame gen. Like it was, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, yeah, you were saying.
It was crazy, but I think so. I do think CES next year will be good. I feel reasonably confident. I mean, we've got to see how the year pans out. That the 60 series will be coming. Um, and so I'm looking forward to that. I think at this point in time, right, it makes sense to me what Nvidia is doing, right?
Yeah,
Eliminating the 5070 Ti and the first of all, the 5060 Ti 16 gig card makes absolutely no sense.
yeah,
The
agreed.
GPU is too weak to use up that VRAM anyway. Like it was just a gimmick just to satisfy
And
people that want
it
VRAM.
doesn't even have two encoders. If it did though, but it doesn't. Yeah,
You might be able to use it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, the 5070 Ti, if you remember the history, we never used to have a 5070 Ti as a launch product. It used to always be an upgraded
Yeah,
product.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the only reason it was a 5070 Ti is remember it was
The
like it
fifth,
used to be called the 4080, and there was the 4080
yeah,
12
that's
gig or
what it was.
something,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
4080, and then everyone was up in arms, so they created it. It was somewhat of a it wasn't a pointless product. It was just a weird product to do at
No, that
launch,
one was the
right?
best one. The 5070
I
Ti was the
agree.
best one. Yeah, that's why they're
I
getting rid of
agree,
it.
but they're getting rid of it because you've got 3 cards with 16 gig on it.
Well,
Which one are you going to keep
that
manufacturing,
that
right?
one makes the lowest margin for 16 gig. Well, they're getting rid. They're
Exactly.
getting rid of the lowest margin ones. Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
getting rid of? 5060 Ti and 57. Oh, sorry, I didn't
yeah,
mean to
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Whatever.
Wrong fingers, right? But you're keeping the 5080. It makes sense because of margins. But the other reason it makes sense is that the 5070 Ti is the closest competitor to AMD's 9070 XT. Why would you keep that and say get rid of the 5080?
Yeah, it wouldn't
You
happen.
want to
Yeah,
keep the product that is better, like
yeah,
clearly
yeah,
better
yeah.
than the competitor. Let the competitor have that space. So I think in their mind, and now if you look at the stack, what is it? 50, 90, 50, 80, 50, 70, 50, 60, right? Like you're kind of back to the way it used to be, which was no TIs or supers until you get an upgrade, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true. Yeah. Well, no,
and
and
so it makes sense.
the 9070 XT still has to have 16 gigs on it. So basically, Nvidia pinched that card out of the market because it has 16 gigs. It's gonna go up in price so much that
It
people will
will.
just, yeah, but people will just be like, well, if I'm spending that much, I got a
I'll
5080
get a
anyway.
5080.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
they pinched them
It's
out.
very
Yeah,
smart.
yeah.
It's very smart, right?
Yeah, and dude,
Um,
Nvidia doesn't miss. They don't miss. Like
it, when I saw the news, I thought it was very smart. AMD, apart from increasing the price of their cards, they're going to have to eliminate, what is it, the 9060 XT 16 gig card too, right? Like, I don't
the,
know how they keep making that.
there's a 16 gig version. I didn't even
They
know
had
that.
they had an 8 gig and a 16 gig version like Nvidia
Oh,
too,
I see.
right?
I see.
So I don't see how they're going to have to allocate all their VRAM to the 9070 XT and 9070. It's their two best products, right?
Why do you think they don't do a refresh with fewer chips but higher capacity?
I think that just comes down to, like using the Samsung 3 gigabyte chips,
Yeah, so
you're saying?
you could use, let's say if you're making like a 9 gig card, you could just put 3 of those chips on there. Like the bandwidth would suck ass, but then you just compensate with more cache or whatever. Maybe they'll do that for the 60 series. Watch that. Watch it be
So
super
that's
interesting.
interesting. I think it all comes down to, do they actually have more availability of those VRAM chips?
Well, it would be, well, like I would assume it would be less availability, but you would just use less of them too on the
You
board.
use less silicon, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
it's just
that's
stacked.
funny. That's funny. That may be precisely what they do for the
For
new
the 60
cards, right?
series, yeah. So
Yeah.
you'll see the 6090 have like, instead of a 512-bit bus, it'll go back to 384 like the 4090, but they'll
So
use
what will it do? 36, like 36, they'll use 36 then. 36 gig of RAM.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it'll just have they'll just overclock the shit out of the G7 so it still kind of has like 2 terabytes of bandwidth or whatever. So
Yeah.
same bandwidth, little bit more RAM, but they're just using, 4 less chips. Or 4, 6, whatever, 8. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting. And then you'll see multiples of 3 on all of the cards, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, you're right, because they'll move from the lowest one having 8 to 9.
To 6. Oh yeah, right.
And then,
Oh my
right?
god. Yeah, that's
And
brilliant.
then
Yeah.
it'll be like, wow, they've increased the lowest to 9, and
Yeah.
then the next level is going to be 12,
That's
and then what,
hilarious.
15 into, so instead of 16 they'll have 18, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they'll,
yeah.
everything will be a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah. That's we're calling it here right
This is,
now.
yeah, we're calling
We're
it. This is
calling
the prediction.
that's gonna
Yeah.
happen for
And
the 6000 series. Yep.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
last question I wanted to ask you before we call it. If the I just want your opinion on it. If
Mm.
the 9950X 3D2 comes out, like the dual 3D CCD, how do you think that's gonna work? Like,
Well,
do you like? You can kind of tell that they're on the fence about releasing that one. You can tell.
yeah. I mean, listen, they're on the fence because the increase in gaming performance is obviously incredibly low, right?
Like, that's what I think, or zero, or regressive, or worse. I think that was I think that was intended for some kind of professional workload that we don't know about. I think that's why they released that AMD Pro CPU, the 9965X3D.
Mm.
They just released that one like 2 days ago, and it's like AMD Pro a 9965X3D. I don't think anyone's reviewed that one yet. Maybe that's the dual 3D one. Who knows? But you can't buy that one without prosumer like channels, right?
Well,
So
and the crazy thing is that, games don't, well, maybe not Battlefield, right? Because you
that's
were
different,
saying
yeah.
that Battlefield loads up a whole bunch of CPUs, but most games don't use more than the 8 cores, right?
Yeah.
16 threads. And so you basically just shutting down the second CCD. So now you ask yourself, okay, if you get a second CCD with X3D, you still want to use your first CCD so you don't have to go through the Infinity Fabric, right?
Right.
And so it's, maybe it does help in Battlefield 6, right? But I mean, the number of games
Hmm.
where that actually helps And it still comes down to having to use a third party tool like Process Lasso or something, which isn't ideal. What I've never understood, given that they've had these chips for a while now, right, since the 7000 series, or what is it,
S-
Ryzen
Zen
7000,
4, yeah.
7,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ryzen 9, right, 7.
7950 X3D, yeah.
Yeah, so why they didn't, when they released this, create a hardware scheduler to prioritize for game? I like, why
Be-
do they keep relying on Windows?
because AMD cope, dude. They don't have to. Dude, I think
Yeah,
that's a separate problem, though, where like
yeah.
AMD can literally release garbage on a fucking platter. And look, do you know how many people are on Twitter? Do you like, this is the craziest thing, dude. The amount of people on Twitter that I see daily to this day, even in my YouTube shorts everywhere, that think the 9950 X3D is faster in gaming than a 9800 X3D.
They've been sold the marketing, right?
To this day,
Yeah.
they think that like it's a faster CPU because it has a bigger number. I'm like, dude, that thing's been out for like a year and a half, 2 years, and people have still not fucking clued in, dude. So I saw, it was literally on Twitter, like I think it was yesterday, when they announced the 9965 X3D. One of the comments under the video cards like post was like, damn it, AMD, I just bought the 9950 X3D and I want the best, and now you released another one that was even better. I'm like, this guy's fucking retarded. Like, it's like dude, seriously, like it's I don't know, I don't like,
Well,
nobody
so
knows what they're doing, man. Nobody knows
another
anything.
aspect to this, right? I did a comparison a little while ago of 9800 X3D, 9950 X3D versus 285K, 14900
Yeah.
KS, all of them tuned, right? And I love the comments, which was, well, why didn't you use Process Lasso on the 9950 X3D? And I said, why aren't you asking why I didn't use
Yes.
Process Lasso on the 14900 KS or the 285K? Or
Yes.
like, it's a third party app. If
Yes.
I went in and I did this comparison and I used a third party app just for the Intel
To
processors to
fix.
make them faster,
Yes.
I would be destroyed.
Yeah.
But it's okay for me to use a third party app to fix a problem on like AMD and not on Intel. Like, it makes no
I'm so
sense,
happy
right?
you get it.
No, but it makes no sense. If I'm going to do a fair comparison, I've got to use what's available. So, okay, so I did run the 9950 X3D in balance mode, because if you don't do that, it's really bad, right? Like, it's really bad. Like, the Windows optimization doesn't even work. And when the Windows optimization doesn't work,
Oh
you're in
god.
serious trouble,
Oh
right? And
god.
I tried some features from BIOS, which is basically just shutting down the second CCD.
Yeah.
And that's acceptable to me, right? I know it's not ideal, but it's acceptable. But man, telling you that you need to, first of all, go and buy Process Lasso and then download it to enhance the performance of the most expensive chip that's on the market
Which
is
turns it
really bad.
which just turns it into a 9800 X3D.
It does. It
What the
basically just
hell?
eliminates the second
Yeah,
CCD.
I don't get it, dude. People are out of their fucking minds with that one. Dude, I didn't if it wasn't for two, this is why AMD doesn't fix anything, because it's like it's your fault as a benchmarker that you don't know how to run 20 registry tweaks with game bar with the BIOS. You have to set it so when it detects a certain power limit, it'll switch to the 3D. So you have to be a fucking AMD engineer to make that damn CPU work, but that's your fault as a benchmarker. That's your fault.
Yeah. No,
It's like,
I mean,
dude, people are out of their minds.
I actually think it's less about you tested it wrong and more about so what I love to watch is when you get a comment and in the person's mind they've bought into the fact that the 9950 X3D is the fastest
Yes.
processor for games, and they see a result that doesn't match and they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
This is the fastest. Why you? And then all of a sudden you've tainted the results because it's not the fastest. And I'm like, did you see that the 9800 X3D beat it?
Yeah.
It's an AMD
Yes.
processor.
Yes.
So obviously, if I was biasing the results, the
Yes.
9800 X3D wouldn't have won. Like what? It's anyway. It's just it's
There's something
weird, but it
there's
is.
something
Yeah.
wrong but well, if you think about it, why hasn't the Infinity Fabric been fixed yet? Like, so Zen 2, Zen 3, Zen 4, Zen 5, the exact same Infinity Fabric speeds for like 6 years.
And
Why has that not been fixed?
There's rumors about Zen 6 fixing it. What I've said to my audience is, I'll believe it when I see it.
Well,
Right?
the leaked pictures have the IO die and the CPU core smashed together, kind of like Arrow Lake, right? So that would fix it. Obviously, that would fucking fix it. But it's like, but then it's like, why did nobody complain the entire, like, why did nobody look at 1% lows for the last 6 years?
So do you know why? Because the mainstream like tech tubers have all crowned it the best gaming CPU.
Well, they did that with Zen 2, and Zen 2
I
didn't
know.
even come close to the 9900K.
Well, that's
Not
true.
even close.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
was that like Intel at that point. In like Intel, it's Intel's own fault, but Intel should have been like, these guys are all incompetent. You're never getting a sample ever again for how incompetent you are for saying that like Zen 2 is as good as a 9900K. Like, you're all like I don't know, man. You ever feel
That
like
was, yeah,
you ever
that was
you
an
ever
attempt to help the underdog, right?
but it was a narrative push, absolutely, because they made up Tech Potato. They shamed Tech Potato into changing his results because he go back and look it up. Ian Cuttress said the 9900K was way faster. And he's like, what's everyone talking about? And then they all jumped on him and shamed him. And he's like, and he didn't want to like step on any toes. And he's like, oh yeah, my results were wrong. And then in one of his podcasts, like 4 years later, he's like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, in the moment, he got fucking shamed hardcore by like Hardware Canucks and all these other guys to like change his results. And I'm like, so they're not in cahoots, but if you go against the narrative, they'll destroy you for it. They will. It says like, if you ever feel like you just like walk through this earth, especially with hardware, where like, well, back to the 9950X 3D thing. Like you see these people, you see these like AIBs, not AIBs, sorry, system integrators, like what's his name, Paradox or whatever. He'll be like 9950X 3D is the fastest, and they do that to upsell you on a CPU that you don't even need for COD bros, but they charge you an extra $500, or they'll or
You
they'll.
know what's worse?
No, I know that the 7200 megahertz RAM. You know what's even worse? There's a company called FPS Hub. They'll take 5600 A die and overclock it to 6400, but then they will. I caught them on this in one of my consults, and then they will. The receipt that they sell the customer says 7200. So they took 5600s. The customer doesn't know any better. I go into IDA, I'm like, bro, these are 5600 sticks.
And you can tell from the profiles.
Yeah, there is no profile. Yeah, exactly. There's
stored profiles.
Yeah, they manually selected 7200. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did all the timings manually. I'm like, wow, they're fucking scamming but nobody knows, man. Nobody fucking knows. It's unfortunate.
So the crazy thing was when Paradox did this computer for Kevin Durant, and they're like, it had 7200 like RAM on AM5. I'm like, that's literally no man's land. Like, that's
you know what the thing is though, that dude is probably coming from like a PS4. It must feel incredible to. It's like, we know. It's like, bro, you might have like, the dips must be going down to like 65, which is still like 40 more than a PS4. Sorry, go
ahead.
I was gonna say just the incompetence of the industry is still like above the median line of incompetence of most gamers. So nobody catches this shit.
Yeah, and the marketing around the numbers, like how
Yes.
they name things. So it's funny, I for a long time when I was in industry, I love computers and I love like replacing graphics cards and things, but I never did my own builds, right?
Yeah.
And so I bought from a company that I really did respect was Falcon Northwest because
Right.
they never tried to upsell me. They actually always tried to downsell me. They're like, "Are you just gaming? Then don't get this chip.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
recommend this one." And they tried to always downsell me, which I appreciated because like I respect that, you know. Not a lot of companies out there will do that though,
Well,
right? They'll try and
Power GPU? He's another SI. He has his own in-house testing team that tests various games, and Rust was the biggest one, right? Do you know Rust?
I know Rust, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Even the developers of Rust were like, get the 3D chip because nobody enables XMP, right? And that game performs like utter dog shit on AMD platforms, even when you tune it. It's like significantly better on Intel, but nobody knows because nobody tunes Intel, right? It's like Rust is so bad. Anyway, so they got the same results, and a lot of Rust streamers would like contact them for PC builds. He talked about this on when he was on the podcast actually, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, you should get the 14900K for Rust. Please just listen to me, please. And they're like, well, if you don't sell me a 9800 X3D, I'm gonna go somewhere else because the developers said that it was the best for the game. So they're like,
It's tough though.
yeah, because
It's tough.
the developers don't know, right? They just like get the AMD one, right? Um, that's a whole topic for a different one, but it's fascinating that developers of games don't actually know how their code interacts with hardware. It's fascinating. They know nothing
That's
about fucking
really
hardware.
strange.
It is. You would like none of them know anything about hardware. The Unreal Engine is developed for this type of code, and then however it does it kind of thing, right? But anyway, so he's like, okay, I guess I'll sell you the 9800X 3D. A week later, the guy's like, this fucking feels horrible. He's like, I told you. He's like, I told you to get the Intel one, and now you're asking me for tech support because you didn't listen to me. I'm like, I I I vibe with that, man. I vibe with that so hard, dude. Dude, the amount of people that go and buy Radeon graphics cards when I tell them not to, and then they come to me after and they're like, how do I fix this? I'm like, you fucked up by not listening to me. That's what you did. Like, that's sorry. Sorry. Go do your 30 registry tweaks now.
So you know the crazy thing is, I'm surprised that Intel, once they did finished with all of their firmware updates for the Core
Yeah,
Ultra 200S,
that it did nothing.
that they didn't do a push, that they didn't actually try and work with content creators that knew what they were doing and did a put. Now this is pre-RAM crisis.
Right.
There was a period of time there where you could get high-speed RAM pretty cheap and you could put it in with a 285K and tune it up a little and get some really good performance. And I'm surprised Intel didn't try and do a push on that.
Yeah,
Like, why?
remember when we were talking to that Intel guy and he seemed really excited to talk to people that knew what they were doing? Nothing ever
Yeah.
came of it.
No,
No,
nothing at all.
like if they were like and you can market it as a feature, not a bug. It's like, hey guys, we're giving you this product, but if you actually enjoy min-maxing and tweaking it, we gave you 30% of headroom and here's how. Like you sell that shit.
What about just even more basic?
Just
We
XMP.
gave you this product. We actually spent some time, like, be honest. Hey, when we launched it, it didn't have mature firmware. We've improved the firmware. It's now mature. If you simply match it with high speed memory and turn XMP on, right? The performance will be X. I'm not even talking about like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
tuning. I'm just talking about turning XMP on with high speed memory. Now, of course,
Right.
today that's a much tougher
Yeah,
sell.
yeah, it doesn't
But
work.
at that time, right, you could get CUDIM, like once prices dropped, there was a period in the middle of last year where CUDIM memory came down a lot, like 8400, 8800
Yeah.
CUDIM RAM
Just so
was
guaranteed
like
to work. Yeah.
$250, whatever. Yeah, but they could have easily said, do this. They did come up with the 200S boost feature, which again was weird because they got people like Roby to show that, and the doofus used
Yeah.
8400 RAM with the 200S boost feature, so it dropped his speed down to 8000 by enabling that feature,
What is that
and he
feature?
lost performance.
What is that feature?
So it's a 200S boost feature. What it does is it'll basically increase your RAM speed to 8000, and it increases your D2D and NGU speed. That's it. And it's an automatic, and it's, by the way, it's a warranted feature by Intel, right? On the 200S platform. It's a warranted feature. And the fact that you haven't heard about it is exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
literally have not heard about that.
Why the hell didn't Intel market this damn thing?
But why
Like,
not? But
I don't
the motherboard, what does it overclock the NGU and the die to die to?
I don't remember
Is
off
it
the top of my
auto?
head.
Does it factor in silicon quality or something?
No, it doesn't. So part of the problem is that there's going to be it's not going to work on every motherboard, every chip.
Well,
So they
the motherboards did that automatically for the first while there until they came out with the
so
new BIOS versions.
Yeah, so this is a feature you turn on. Like if you got a Z890 board, it's like literally the first or second thing listed, and you click the button. And the problem is, for example, when I tried it, I tested it. I had 9,000 mega transfer per
Right.
second RAM in there, and my performance tanked. And I'm like,
Right.
what the hell? This is a useless feature. Then I realized it hard it hard coded your memory speed at 8000. So I immediately understood why it dropped my performance. And then I didn't realize it hard coded your D2D and NGU too, which was lower than what I was running. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing, and it's a warranted feature, which is fascinating to me. First of all, warranties don't mean anything, right?
Right.
But it's a warranted feature. The fact they went out of their way to say that and then didn't really market it.
Did you
This is why
ever
I'm,
did you
you
ever
know,
try Intel APO with the new chips, the new updated
I
ones?
did. Oh, so you know
Any
what's
difference?
fascinating with APO? So the first 3 or 4 times I tried APO, it tanked my
Of
results.
course.
The last time I tested it, which was probably, I don't know, 2 months ago when I did the video of those 4 processes, it enhanced the performance because they finally got it to work on the 200S, on the 285K. It actually worked in, of the 10 games, it gave me a boost
Did it
in
disable
5
the
of them.
E-cores?
I don't know exactly what it did because it does it for, it's a Windows feature, which is fascinating,
Well,
right?
no,
So
I think it's just a glorified whitelist. So it like
it is.
yeah, so
It
they
is. Yeah.
I think it's the same kind of dumb shit where it's like you know, like the hyper threading bros where it's like if I disable hyper threading, it will improve the performance in this game by 4% or whatever, right? And that's like
Yep.
even if that's true, who's gonna disable that shit for every single game and
And that's the problem with
undisable it?
APO. That's the problem with APO. There were a couple of games where APO tanked the performance. So
So
you've
that's not
really
on the whitelist then.
and that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But what's crazy is it actually enhanced the performance of some games that weren't on the list. So that was weird. And I
Well,
don't know if
so
that's, you know,
the reason why it never made sense on Arrow Lake, it does make sense on Raptor Lake, is because there's literally E cores in between the P cores. So even if you disable the damn E cores, it has to hop that fucking path anyway. So it doesn't actually
so it never yeah,
yeah,
it never worked on Arrow Lake until the recent update. They actually, so last year they did one update for APO, and it came out of nowhere.
Maybe I'll
And
test that
it,
one day. Yeah.
that one's a good one to test because yes, you're right. Like the arrangement of the cores is weird, and the fact that Arrow Lake doesn't have hyperthreading, and so it relies on the
The E-cores,
E-cores
yeah.
a lot. And so overclocking the E-cores gives you one of the biggest increases in
Yeah.
performance,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so so that was interesting. But yeah, APO was I went into it and I'm like, I hate this. Like it's a weird piece of software. You basically just double click on it and it's running.
Yeah, I don't like that. No, none of that shit,
And
man.
it doesn't really give you any information. It just
Dude,
says
dude,
APO on.
you know what you should you know what you should do, what we should test one day? Take an NVMe drive, put it in an AMD platform, right? Install the latest Windows 11 with all like the Radeon issues and shit, and like the NVMe drivers and schedulers. Then install the AMD chipset drivers with the game bar and all that shit. Make sure that you have a 9950X3D. It also detects all that shit. Then do like ultimate power plan. Take take the fucking NVMe take the NVMe drive out, put it in a fucking Arrow Lake PC, then install the Intel chipset drivers while the AMD ones are actually still there. Then install APO and have like 9 different fucking schedulers going at once.
What?
Yeah, just for the memes, and then just see what's getting scheduled to what. It would be a complete. Oh my
So
god,
one of
dude.
the things I'm contemplating doing, the problem is I'm going to destroy the system, is basically have one component of every single manufacturer and install every piece of their software.
Oh, and the RGB shit.
Like
Yeah.
Razer, Armory Crate, the Corsair IQ,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
MSI Center, Gigabyte, and like just have like a mouse from one, a keyboard from the other thing, and just to see. Like, I wonder if that thing will be recoverable.
Well, yo,
Like,
you should do CPU load before and after. You don't even have to
oh
do
yeah.
lows. It'll
It-
pull like 30%, dude. It's nuts. I literally I got rid of my the Lian Li 011 dynamic
yeah.
fans because the software was pulling like 15% out of my CPU
Yes.
all the
When you
time.
so the weird thing with that was if you have got like you're talking about the fans with the display.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the crazy thing with the display. If you have a measurement readout like a GPU
Yes,
temp or CPU temp,
it pings the
the
CPU. Yeah,
load is huge.
yeah.
If you just put on a static photo, which
Yes.
is defeats the purpose of having it anyway, the load goes down. But yeah, man, Lee and Lee software, I like their hardware, but their software, I mean, everyone's software is bad, but Lee and Lee software, have you ever tried like updating it and there's some weird
Oh yeah,
update and then
dude.
it's
You know,
like you
dude.
go to their website and you've got to, and then the instructions are do not plug any, if you plug anything into this port, you will destroy your entire computer. It will
Yeah,
go
yeah,
on
yeah,
fire.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Only
dude.
plug into port 2.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like reading these instructions like who reads this crap?
And
Right?
and you know what's funny? A lot of the time their website will just be down. And you
Oh,
can't
it'll
actually
crash. I
download.
know.
You can't actually download.
Yes.
Dude, you know what's so fucked
And
up?
it'll take like 4 hours
Yeah.
to download a 200
Yes.
megabyte file, right?
I literally started backing up Lian Li software versions on my share for
Wow.
my supporters.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's
because
so
they
unreliable,
no
right?
because they all use Lian Li fans because they're all COD bros, right? And they love their
Yeah.
LCD fans. So I literally started backing it up for them to provide value. So when the website was down, they would jump onto my share and download the L Connect
Yeah.
shit. It was nuts. Yeah, it's insane, dude. That's how bad Lian Li. So I got rid of all that shit on my PC. I use no RGB, no fucking software, none of that shit anymore. I'm done with all that kind of shit.
One thing I liked is that ASUS allows you now when you get a component to not install Armory Crate, but install this like just the software required, like say an ASUS AIO with a screen, right? If you don't install Armory Crate, or if
Yeah.
you didn't, you couldn't use the screen.
Yeah.
So now they allow you to install this very light version that just gives you functionality for the screen and nothing else.
Cool. I did not know
That's
that.
actually
Yeah.
kind of cool, right?
Okay,
I
so
haven't tested it, but about time, right?
yeah, because the literally Armory Crate was like, and JJ, he's like, it's not that bad anymore. I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Like it's
Well,
it's
so the
so bad.
problem
It's
with
so
Armory
bad.
Crate, well, the problem is that I don't know if I did a video, it was my gaming rig that was like a 14900 KS plus Lian Li
Yeah,
fans and all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah.
I had all these problems, and you know what it came down to? It took me 3 weeks to isolate the problem. I replaced every piece of hardware. The
What?
problem was Armory Crate, one of the color settings under
Oh, right. Yeah.
Aura thing. If all I did, and I don't, what happened was I went into safe mode and I removed Armory Crate, and all of a sudden my 1% lows were fine after I removed Armory Crate. And I'm like, hold on, I've got an AIO, I need it. So I went back in. I'm like, it has to be something in Armory Crate. So I went to a static color, and my 1% lows went back to normal.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like, dude, I
That's
won't.
insane.
Like people can say whatever they want about RGB software. I won't even install the NVIDIA app on my computer. So when I
I don't do that now.
when I
Yeah, I
install
found that too.
when I install the driver, no app, driver only.
Yeah,
Like, dude, no, I
yeah.
don't. No, I don't want any fucking third-party software on my PC whatsoever. The only one I'll do is the Razer one, so I can set my polling rate. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't touch that shit. But
Yeah.
let's wrap this up though, because I gotta get going. I gotta go pee and all that shit. But yeah, CES,
So
the
we
worst
talked
thing.
about
Yeah,
CES,
Intel,
we
AMD,
talked about Nvidia,
the best
right?
products.
Canceling the card.
Yeah, damn, that was a good one. There's more to talk about, but did you stocked up on GPUs? I'm hoping, right?
So I did. I just bought, and it's I bought, and because it was available on Amazon, it's literally the only card, an Astral LC
Oh, right. Yeah.
for its current MSRP, which is insanely expensive,
Yeah.
$3,700. But if you look at trying to buy another card, they're all third-person sellers, and they're like 4,500.
Yeah.
So I got it, and what my plan is if I can get my hands on a Lightning, I'll try and sell this for a profit so that I'm not out of pocket so much for the
Right.
Lightning. That may backfire. I've at least got 30 days to return
Dude,
it.
that's like 20 grand. You're like, yeah, that's like 20 G's of fucking
Oh
59.
man,
Yeah, it's
look, if it's over $5,000, I'm just gonna pass, right? Like I'm not doing that. But I did that. I picked up like a 5080. I picked up a 5070 Ti a while back. I picked up a 5080 Tough when it was on sale
yeah.
during Thanksgiving. I've got a couple of 5090s. I didn't go crazy because I actually, I mean, it's a bunch of work, right? If you try
It
and
is.
sell it on
It's true.
eBay, and then the problem with eBay is you get charged tax, and you get
Yeah,
charged
yeah,
like a
shipping.
fee.
Yeah, no, I don't
So
no eBay
once
shit.
you
Yeah.
add the fee and the tax, you've actually got to sell it for a lot more than what
Yeah.
you bought it for it to make
Yeah,
sense,
yeah, yeah.
right? And so we're not quite there yet, so we'll see what happens. I was gonna do another 5070 Ti video of
No
some sort.
point
Now
now.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like if you can't buy the card, what's the point, right? So we'll see. I'm very curious to see what happens with AMD GPU pricing. They have to go up, right? Once they're out of stock,
look at
right?
7900 XTX pricing. I wonder if it's still low. I gotta release that video still. But I was getting them for like 800 Canadian a couple of months back, which was
Yeah,
like
I'm very
500
curious now on.
US.
I wonder what they are like. So the cheapest, you buying them secondhand though, right?
Yeah, yeah, locally, yeah. Facebook Marketplace.
So if you go to GPUs, let's see, 7000 series. So the cheapest brand new, so lowest price.
Oh, they went up locally. They're 1,000 Canadian now.
So there's an open box on Newegg for 769, but then the cheapest brand
Nah.
new is the Sapphire Pulse for 1,029, and that's the complete base model
Yeah,
too,
never
right?
mind. No, so the prices of those skyrocketed
They,
too.
I mean, it makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
because
They
they have
got a lot of
24.
RAM
They have
on them,
24 gigs of
right?
RAM. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the yeah, we'll cut it there. The lowest 9070 XT now is, well, it's still 699. So those prices will go up soon. They haven't yet,
So
right?
grab one of those if you're in an emergency. Yeah, let's call it there.
Yeah. Okay.
Blackbird, Matt, thanks for coming on, man. We'll do another one as well as the information and news comes up. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll give the cash over to Matt, and then I will. But otherwise, I'll see you guys on Saturday for my stream. All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks
Thanks,
again.
everyone.
Thanks
Thanks,
again for
Rufus.
coming. All right, later.